Hello, John from Peter Tyson, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one. It's the Beolab 8 from Bang & Olufsen. Let's just crack on. So Beolab 8 can be used as a single audio system all by itself. You can pair two together to give you lovely stereo sound, or they can be used as multiples in a surround setup with the BeoVision TV. A three-way design loudspeaker with a 0.6 inch tweeter, a 3 inch mid-range and a 5¼ inch woofer. One 200 watt and two additional 50 watt amplifiers on board. With the usual adaptive bass linearization, it raises the bass slightly at lower levels and lowers it at higher levels to keep everything safe and undamaged. And of course thermal protection, should you be a bit overambitious. Just like all of the other current B&O audio systems, it shares the Mozart audio engine, Bang & Olufsen's most advanced audio engine to date. You can use the Bang & Olufsen app and BeoLink multi-room if you have other Bang & Olufsen audio products around the house. They can all join together or play independently. And of course you have the usual streaming platforms of AirPlay 2 and Chromecast, and Bluetooth if you must. If you use Chromecast or AirPlay 2, you can of course link Beolab 8 with any other manufacturer's Chromecast or AirPlay speakers. Just like Beosound Balance and Beolab 28, on top lives the familiar Bang & Olufsen touch panel. Here you've got access to volume, track up and down, play pause, source selection, multi-room join and the four familiar favourite buttons. Here you can store your favourite playlists or radio stations and recall them with just a touch. And thanks to a proximity sensor, the touch panel will light up as you approach it. Nice. As I said right at the beginning, just like the other audio systems, you can link two together in stereo over the network. So this gives you a proper left and right and lets you sit in the sweet spot and let you do some proper listening to your favourite albums. This gives a huge jump in sound quality and, in my personal opinion, enjoyment. Connections are pretty simple. There's a hardwired Ethernet socket if you don't want to take advantage of the wireless network. There's a USB-C input that can be used as a line-in for external audio devices, and of course the power socket for the onboard amplifiers and electronics. Thanks to the wired or wireless power link connection, Beolab 8 make excellent surround speakers, or even fronts and surrounds. Or maybe you've already got a pair of Beolab 28s up front and you need to fill in some surrounds with something smaller. Beolab 8 will sort that out for you. Optional table stands and floor stands will give you some flexible placement options if you are using them as fronts or surrounds. Be handy to see some ceiling mounts if you wanted to use them as height speakers with Beosound Theatre. Of course, in true B&O style, there are various aluminium colours and different wood and cloth finishes to complement the other Bang & Olufsen products that you may own. As usual, any oak covers carry a bit of a price premium, and I'm sure there will be special collaborations and limited edition colours in the future. The Bang & Olufsen app for iOS and Android, that's used for setting up, software updates and tailoring the sound experience. You have the usual bass, treble, balance controls, you have the touch wheel to set your own sound profiles, and you can switch between wide and narrow if you've got them as a stereo pair. If you're using a single, this becomes room or front if you want a more focused or diffused room filling sound. Although the software isn't ready yet and it will be a future update, there is the option for fluid sweet spot in the app. This will use an iPhone and triangulate the position in relation to each speaker. So even if you're sitting off axis, as long as your phone is on you, it will move the sound sweet spot to where you're sitting. I'm unable to comment as it's not available as I'm filming this. If you're using Beolab 8 connected to a TV, just like Beolab 28, you can use them as a standard audio system when the TV is switched off. As soon as you switch the TV on, the TV will deal with all of the sound processing and redistribution. Talking of sound, they sound as you'd expect. They are very Bang & Olufsen, and if you've had Bang & Olufsen products, they have that lovely Bang & Olufsen sound signature. They're never fatiguing, they're quite pleasing and enjoyable to listen to. Very decent low-end extension for the size and quite surprising, to be honest. Particularly at lower to mid volume, they sound very big and powerful and just enjoyable. Personally, I prefer the loudness turned off. Just like with most products, I find it makes the bass a little bit too heavy and a bit thumpy, particularly at lower volumes. Maybe controversial, but personally, I think they sound better than the Beolab 18s. A couple of very minor things. I like the top touch glass panel. It does feel nicer to use than the plastic on the Beolab 28 or the aluminium of the Beosound Balance. But with it being glossy black, it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. But I suppose it's no different than using your shiny phone screen. So what about the competition? So I can talk about that now. If you're in the B&O sphere, I'm sure nothing else will be quite the same as Beolab 8. It would be a fine addition to any Bang & Olufsen setup or even B&O TV setup, whether used as a single, a stereo or a surround channels, you'll love them. As a pair, Beolab 8 are in the price range of some serious stereo hi-fi, and of course you can achieve better sound with proper hi-fi. But if you're looking at Beolab 8s, that's not your kind of system. You don't want traditional looking loudspeakers, you don't want floor standers, you don't want extra boxes. If you are looking at alternatives, the Sonos Faber Duetto are worth a listen if you don't mind the more traditional styling. They can compete on sound, save you a bit of money and have more connectivity. But I suspect if you're still watching this, only the Beolab 8 will do. You'll see me in the next video. Take care.